Can't decide and torn between a romantic, comedy, action, or an indie film to watch for the weekend? Well. Golden State Media Concepts Movie Podcast is your ultimate guide to the latest movies. Join us as we dissect the latest on the blockbusters. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Movie Podcast.
Welcome to the GSMC Movie Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. As promised, with a slight delay, I'm finally going to review Justice League for you guys. So, I went in this movie with an open mind because I know that a lot of the DC fans, movie critics, they've been a little hard on the DC movies. They've been a little hard on them. And me personally, I didn't think the first Superman was a bad movie. I know it didn't do very well at the box office. However, I didn't think it was bad. I think that Henry Cavill did a good job. I liked him as Superman. I think he did a good job. My opinion might be a little bit biased or inflated because I'm comparing it to the last Superman film that was really bad. So there's that. And the Superman vs. Batman movie I'm going to say that wasn't one of my favorites either. So, but I still went into it with an open mind because, if you put a whole bunch of superheroes in the movie with a $300 million budget, you're going to expect great things, right? That was my first, that's what I was going into it with. I saw Wonder Woman. It was great. That's what I was going into it with. So I watched the movie. I watched the whole thing, obviously didn't walk out. And one of the things that I think they should have sold us in this movie, like with the trailer, I think they probably should have sold us that Superman was in the movie. I think that might have been helpful. I know that the trailers have been out for a while now. Most of the trailers a lot of the trailers didn't make a lot of sense. I feel like even though superhero movies, a superhero trailer, like, what more do you want, Ryan? But I think you may know what I mean. A lot of the trailers didn't really explain what was going on, really, or how they all banded together. It was just, hey, there's this problem. All right, I'm Batman. I'm going to go get everyone together. It's like, that's the call to action. Batman's just going to go get everybody. So there was the trailer. I knew there was like an appearance by Superman. I didn't know he was in the actual movie. I'm going to say that's... The only reason, I don't think that's a spoiler. I'm just telling you that because I feel like you should know. And you've probably heard it already anyway. It's been a week. So if there is a spoiler in the movie, actually there are no spoilers. I don't have anything to give you that's going to spoil your appetite from seeing this. You've already saw it, or you've read reviews about it and you don't want to see it, or you're just going to wait to see it on DVD or something. So I feel like the wave of people that wanted to go see it has already happened, especially because it's on its second Monday and it's made $173 million. Just to give you an idea of what that means, Iron Man 3 made that in the first weekend, and so did Beauty and the Beast. First weekend, $173 million. On its second Monday, which was, I guess, 2 days ago, it made $2.1 million. So it hasn't been doing very well. I believe that if this movie didn't have such high comparisons, then it probably would have been really good. I'm going to tell you what I mean by high comparisons. I just had one of my colleagues send to me the Avengers trailer. Now, I'm not comparing this movie to the Avengers trailer. What I'm comparing this movie to is to other group comic book movies. The other group comic book movies, such as the Avengers, they do a great job. And they spend a lot of time getting all these characters together, developing their side plots, developing their own stories. They changed Spider-Man around, but we're okay with it. They made it okay. This movie, I feel like a lot of us still aren't okay. I feel like I'm not okay with Ben Affleck being Batman quite yet. If Ben Affleck was his own Batman, like in his own movie, I think it'd be more accepting. But I think they kind of forced Ben Affleck to be Batman. They made him like super big, and he's regular Batman with all these actual superheroes. So it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to watch. It's similar to when we saw him fight Superman. It's always been interesting to have that debate when we were younger. Like, well, Batman, Superman, one's a real superhero. One's really, really smart. Like, but in reality, when we watch the movie, it's like, wait, Batman fighting Superman. This doesn't make sense. We can't make sense of this. So there's that. We got Batman with all these actual superheroes. Then we've got these superheroes. We got Flash, played by Ezra Miller. We got Aquaman, played by Jason Momoa, and we got Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher. Now they do an outstanding job. They do an outstanding job because I would say for characters like them, I want to say we haven't seen anything like them before. That was my favorite part of the movie. The way they made Flash, the way they talked about his suit and the way he was fast. It was cool to see him be Flash. The problem with that is in X-Men Days of Future Past, we saw Quicksilver. And when we saw the young Quicksilver, a lot of the things when everything's moving really slow everything's moving slow for everyone else, but they're darting around doing like weird kid things. Flash did the same thing in this movie. So it's something that we've seen before. They did a good job of it because Flash has more of like an electrical current with the way he's fast versus Quicksilver is just incredibly fast because he's a mutant and Flash got struck by lightning. I wish they would have made Flash like more of an older kid or an older guy or just, I guess, more of a grown up so he wouldn't be so much like Quicksilver from Days of Future Past. If you haven't seen Days of Future Past, that's fine. Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher, he was an interesting character because he could do all this computer stuff and as a human, he was basically like walking Wi-Fi, and they did a good job with this character. I'm happy with the way he came out. He could fly. He was super strong. He was like Iron Man, but if Tony Stark just had his head like on his body and could do actual scientific things. Well, Ray Fisher is Cyborg. He is a cyborg. I'm not going to compare him to Iron Man. That's unfair. He's actually, me personally, I think that Ray Fisher's a little bit, Cyborg's a little bit more mentally more impressive than Iron Man because Ray Fisher, Cyborg is the character versus when Tony Stark gets out of the suit, he's outside of the suit. And the Iron Man suit isn't as let's say hellacious as Cyborg, because at one point during the movie, this isn't a spoiler, at one point during the movie, Cyborg gets like his leg ripped off. Like it was nothing. Versus the Iron Man suit, you need like pliers, you're gonna need a wrench, you'll need 2 Hulks. The Iron Man suit's pretty strong. It's made of iron. Lastly, Aquaman. Aquaman is great in his own right. If this movie was in the water, it would have been cool. But the problem is a lot of what Aquaman is about, he doesn't really get to show his aqua skills during the movie. Because at one point during the great battle, there's always a great battle in a superhero flick. During the great battle, they're on land. And he's kind of being helped out by other superheroes. So I don't know if this whole thing was just thought through well enough. I'm not sure. It seemed really forced. The movie seemed really forced. It was great. It was great to see Superman again. It was great to bring him back to life. But it seemed really forced. It seemed like they kind of just threw it together because they really wanted to have a Justice League because the Avengers are running amok with these incredible movies. And I feel like they might have had a better time if they would have developed the stories of each character a little bit more. As far as the storyline goes, I'm gonna say the storyline was official. Steppenwolf, the main villain, was basically awakened because of all the fear in the world because Superman died. Which is I guess a kind of, when I talked about Thor, I talked about things happening in life, that basic things happen in that movie that relate to real life, such as growth and movement and accepting that like you're more powerful inside than any variables outside of you. Don't get lost. Within this movie, there was I wish they expanded on this a little bit more, but Steppenwolf, the main villain, had these like flying monkey zombie things, which were The CGI was really good in the movie, by the way. And he had these things, and they got stronger by fear. Like, the more fear that the world had, they were fueled by fear. That's how they got stronger, which I thought was a great concept, because they're just getting stronger. There's more of them because of the fear in the world. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that relates to real life, because like fear will eat you, and it will stop you from being successful. I just wish they would have expanded on that a little bit more, because a lot of these movies, these superhero movies, because adults are going to go see them and like less of kids. There was even an adult part in the movie where Batman and Wonder Woman are drinking whiskey together. I'm like, oh, that's kind of adult. I get that. Like, that's okay. They're grown-ups, whatever. Especially because they keep mentioning this Batman 20 years thing. So maybe that's why Ben Affleck is like a really big Batman versus like the Christian Bale, like skinnier Batman. And they talk about him being Batman for 20 years. They make a Batman Returns joke reference in it. They talk about wind up penguins. So maybe that's why Ben Affleck is more of, maybe that's why they casted him, I guess. However, the Steppenwolf character, his development and the way he comes about because of Superman dying, it's interesting. They talk about unity and all these different, everybody getting together, the Amazonians, and the Atlanteans, which are not the Atlanteans, not Big Boy and Andre 3000, but like the Atlanteans, like the people that live in Atlantis, like them all getting together, and the Man all getting together all at once to like defeat Steppenwolf 1 trillion years ago. And now they probably have to do it again. So the intro of how it came about, that was nice. I'm going to say I enjoyed that. It just seemed like the movie as a whole collective, it's like it came together. It's like it came together too fast. And maybe this is something that DC wanted to do to advertise all the characters so they could have their own movies versus in Marvel, where it's like, okay, this character, movie, Adventure Time. But maybe they did this as like, okay, this is just one Justice League movie. Now we're going to make an Aquaman movie and a Flash movie and a Cyborg movie. I don't really know how you can do, I'm not sure how you can really do 90 minutes or 2 hours of Aquaman. Not 100% sure. Not really sure. When he's in the movie, he has this whole anti-hero thing. He's there for the people. Batman has to go find him in some boating village. You've seen that, it's in the trailer. Batman's got to go find him in some boating village and talk him into basically signing up to go to help the world, which is, I'm going to say that I'm going to give this movie a 3. Why am I going to give it a 3? This is why I'm going to give it a 3. The story, like the whole thing from beginning to end, was massively, just blatantly predictable. There wasn't anything where I was like, oh my, I didn't see that coming. And yes, it's a superhero movie, and yes, you should expect particular things to happen. But sometimes you just want to be surprised. Like, I was surprised in Thor. I mean, you should want to be surprised. Things should happen where I'm like, oh, that kind of tugged on my heartstrings, or oh, that made me think a little bit more. I also wish they would expand on the whole fear breeds evil type of thing. I wish they would have expanded on that more, just because for us to go into a movie, we kind of want to leave with something. Understood? Also, another reason I'm going to give it a 3 is because I kind of just wish we knew Superman was in the movie. I think they could have done the trailer a little bit better where we knew he was in it, because I believe of all of DC, Superman is the draw. I think that's the draw. Now, I get what they did by wanting him to be in the movie like towards the end, but with him being the draw, I think you're better off like in the trailers showing more Superman, like showing him punching somebody, showing him flying by or whatever. I think you're better doing that. The word got around he was in the movie, but to have him like sneak up as though he's some, as though he's like some unbeknown character, like we don't know who he is. It's silly. We should have known he was in the movie. Anyway, Wonder Woman is incredible. She does outstanding things in the movie. Gal Gadot's impressive. I don't even know what to say. Just an amazing amount of remarkable natural beauty. It's wildly impressive. And as someone that's a huge fan of superhero movies, that doesn't actually doesn't actually read a lot of comic books, I'm gonna be a little biased in this opinion and just be honest and say I think the reason I'm not sold on Justice League really is probably because it's not all because of Batman, but it's got a lot to do with Batman. Just because we spent so much time with Christian Bale as Batman doing those 3 Batman movies, and those movies being like really dark and adult and everything for the most part being pretty regular. When I say regular, I mean no real superheroes. Just I guess everything seeming like it's possible. Like when you have the Scarecrow and you got the Joker, you got Two-Face and Bane, all those people are regular people fighting Batman. So it seems incredibly realistic. Even when Batman's getting beat up by Bane, even though Bane is mega stronger than him, you like, oh, these guys can actually fight. When you see Ben Affleck like crawling around, like trying to like hang out, trying to boss up with these superheroes, pulling out all these weapons, and him flying with his graveling gun, I think it does a lot. It does a lot to take away from the superhero aspect. If that's on purpose, if it's to make Batman look feeble or weak, then you guys completely did it. You guys did that 100%. I'm gonna say that if that was the goal, like in the last Batman movie when Bruce Wayne kept saying, "Oh, I'm old," and he had a cane or whatever and all that, I get that. But this, like, I don't. If you're trying to make him look that way, then you 100%. You got my attention. I get it. 100. So I'm gonna give it a 3. I think I'd watch it again if it comes on. Also, last I want to talk about the writing real quick. I got a few more things to talk about. The writing, the conversations and the dialogues were all right. I wish there was more. I wish when they wrote the movie, they didn't have, okay, serious movie, and then Flash is the punchline. I like when they write superhero movies, and it can be serious, and everyone can be clever, and there's someone else that's funnier. Like, you can do that. I don't necessarily think it's got to be everyone serious and then a comic relief guy. I feel like that formula is kind of whooped. I think everyone being stoic and then one comic relief guy, I don't think that's something that we should do anymore. I think they could have wrote it a little bit better as far as the line dialogues go. Blatant one-liners, not really a huge fan. I don't really think I want to do that. However, the way it was recorded, the cinematography, the CGI, I liked all that. It was great. It wasn't like there was a lot of stuff happening where I couldn't see exactly what was going down. I liked a lot of the camera angles. There was a lot of slow motion, but they had to do that. They did that for Flash and for the Flash effects so that he's not just doing outrageous things that we can't see. So that part was cool. And Cyborg and Batman seem to get along pretty well because when Batman's toys stop working, Cyborg's like a computer. He can help with those toys that stop working. And him just being able to access mainframes and things, I would say that was an impressive part. So the Cyborg character was impressive. All the characters as a collective, as a staff, record label, and the crew, they were all impressive. I just think that the movie, it's going to be compared to other superhero movies because of where we're at right now. I feel like that's just where we're at. And if this was an entry level to get other characters their movies, and so be it. That's great. Like I'm ready. I'm all with that. I'm for it. Like I'm 100% for it. I just believe that if the trailer was a little bit better, I think it would have done better. I mean, people thought Superman died, and then when word got out that he was in the movie, word was just out that he was in the movie. But if you put him in the trailer, just doing something, like kind of just having an appearance of him, or I can't do that because that'd be a spoiler. But I believe there's ways they could have put him in this movie, especially for a lot of you guys know a part I'm talking about when Superman is by that statue and there's a conflict. If that would have somehow been placed into the trailer, I believe opening night would have been wildly successful. Instead, they've made 173 million in their second Monday. So maybe next time. I don't know. For me, I'm gonna give it a 3. I'll probably watch it again when it comes on HBO or something. But I'm not that gung ho on it. When I get back, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about the Avengers trailer. I'm also going to tell you about another Marvel I'm going to tell you about the best superhero series that I've ever seen, Punisher on Netflix. Be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Movie Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway, on the GSMC Podcast Network. Just went ahead and gave you guys my opinion, my review, my view, perception of Justice League. I thought it was, I'm gonna say it was mediocre. Going forward, I'm not gonna do this 1 through 5 thing anymore. We're not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say it was remarkable, it was mediocre, or I'll figure out a third one for that. Because I don't want to get grouped into these 1 through 5s. Because who knows how you feel? And then if I give something a 3, who knows what your 3 is? I'm gonna create my own scale. There'll be 3 different words that we're gonna say, and then outstanding means go see it. Mediocre means nah, and then a whatever the 0 thing is. We'll figure something out. I'm gonna figure something out that's gonna be. It's not gonna be wildly disrespectful, but it's gonna let you know that there's a possibility I was dissatisfied. We might even call it a possibility I'm dissatisfied. So, what I'm going to tell you guys about next is, let's see, Punisher trailer. All right, first, I'm going to tell you guys about the Punisher. Netflix released a Punisher series, and it came out on November 17th. It was, how do I say? It's the best superhero series that I've ever seen. Now, when it comes to people being casted for parts, I always thought, now, I thought, I'm not going to put Deadpool, I'm not going to put Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool on this list because he's only done one movie. So I don't want to put him on this list yet, but he's up there. When it comes to people being casted for particular parts, I thought that Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and Christian Bale as Batman were just the best superhero those people were born to play those parts, period. Like the way they look, the way they act. I know outside of them, they have like real lives. I know Hugh Jackman isn't really Wolverine, especially because Wolverine died. R.I.P. Wolverine. We miss you, B. Even though they're not really those people, they play those parts perfectly. Oh, don't forget Heath Ledger as Joker. He was great. But this guy, again, the reason I'm putting it up there is because there was 13 episodes. With 13 episodes, I think that's a large enough sample size. Jon Bernthal as Punisher, it's something else. It's something else. I want to say that it's wildly great. He gives a remarkable performance. And this is something that I was talking about with Batman a little bit earlier. Now, when it comes to, let's say, like, I'm going to say non-mutants or non-PED superheroes. When it comes to like superheroes that are just basically fighting experts that can use guns and gadgets, I think they're best against fighting people that can use guns and gadgets. It just makes sense. Like our Batman, like our Christian Bale Batman, he wasn't fighting against like magical characters because it would look silly. It'd be unbelievable. So in the last movie, I just reviewed in Justice League. It seems like Ben Affleck's Batman, the villain of the movie, could just grab him and just squeeze him, and something ugly would happen. That's what it looked like. But in this movie, Punisher's fighting against basically a U.S. conspiracy. Now, don't let that turn you off. Don't let that word conspiracy turn you off, because I mean there are government conspiracies, and this movie does a good job. Not the movie. This Netflix series does a great job touching on things that are actually going on. Avengers, the first Avengers movie did this with when they were talking about the surveillance thing. Like, that was something that was really happening. People were really concerned about their surveillance, what was happening. We get into these things where when we go see movies, or we don't really want, it's gotten old of us seeing, okay, some superhero fighting some villain who's huge, and there's no other background about it. Just, we're going to fight him because he can't be here. Oh, wow. Like in Thor, they did that. However, the storyline of the growth was within that story, versus other movies I've seen, such as Justice League, one that I just saw. We're fighting this massive villain, but there's no other. They had a subplot, they just didn't use it. Like, I feel like the fear generated by Superman's death, they could have capitalized on that a little bit more. I don't think they did, though. This movie is great. This Netflix series is great because the Punisher is playing like a soldier who's come back from war. So he is still trying to adjust, and he loves war, and he misses his family, and he's about the truth, but he's about justice. And I want to say he's like a Deadpool in a way, because a lot of superheroes don't really want to kill people, right? Other than Wolverine and Deadpool. The rest of them are like, oh no, we gotta just arrest them. Unless it's the super big bad villain at the end, then he can die. But like regular people, they can't do that. So John Bernthal completely destroys this part. If you don't know who John Bernthal is, he is Shane, who was in Walking Dead. And I think that you should probably know who he is. If you see him, he plays a perfect Punisher. Haircut, the physique, the way he talks, everything about it is great. He even ends up getting paired up with almost a sidekick of sorts, in a way. The series is written great. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it's really gruesome. It's really dark. I don't want to say that it's something that it's not the type of, it's not a superhero series for children. I don't think so. For the things that are happening in it, I wouldn't say so. And if you've watched Daredevil, it's just like that. I would say it's like Daredevil on Netflix, which I thought Daredevil was the greatest. And it might be a toss up because Daredevil is blind. Like Daredevil's blind, so I don't know. It's got to be a toss up between Daredevil and Punisher. But this Punisher series, the guns, the fighting, the fisticuffs, just the armed combat, and he's real. He's a real person. He gets shot a lot in the movie. He takes beatings. He loses a lot. He's not running through the whole series just winning all the time, which if you watch superheroes for an hour and a half, they lose for 15 minutes and they have a conflict for 30 minutes. And then the rest of the hour and 15 minutes, they win. Like that's what ends up happening. But in these Netflix series, I mean, similar to Daredevil gets beat up all the time, bruises everything. Punisher gets destroyed in this movie a bunch of times. And all he's doing is basically like fighting for the truth. He has other army buddies that he has to come to the rescue of. He gets sold out by a couple. And it has this whole government military thing around it. And it's, but not in a way where it's like nationalism, not in the way where it's overly patriotic, nothing like that. Don't start feeling away on me now. Don't stay with me. It's a solid movie. Sorry, I keep saying that because it feels like a movie. Like I binge watch it. Sorry guys. I binge watched the whole thing. It took me 2 days to watch it, and it just because it kept getting better and better and better, and I couldn't get away from it. I could not. The cast is cool. They end up developing a character on it, like one of his arch nemesis is Jigsaw, and they show the development of that character and how he got to be where he is, Jigsaw, and that's going to be like in the next season. And the subplots going on during the series are great, and all around it's it's remarkable. It's remarkable, and I highly suggest that you watch it. When you get a random, I'm gonna say whatever 13 times 45 minutes is. Whenever you get that amount of time, I would handle that. I'm gonna try to do some quick math in my head. That is, I don't know, 8 hours. Maybe it's 8 hours. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say it's 8 hours. When you get 8 hours, just watch that. Just burn through it. It might be 9.5. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's my recommendation for Netflix. My trailer. Again, as I told you guys a little bit earlier, speaking of more Marvel, a colleague of mine sent me the Avengers trailer that I had never saw. And it included like everybody. Everybody's in it. It's just everyone. Spider-Man, Black Panther, Thor's in it. They didn't have Hulk as Hulk, but they had Bruce Banner. So just everybody's in it. And they showed Thanos, and I guess that's the villain they're fighting this time. And it was a remarkable trailer. It was really well put together. They show the struggles. I think, you know what? I feel like that's what may have got me. That's what got me with the DC trailer, with the Justice League. I feel like the trailer didn't sell it, and it just didn't sell it. It showed all these people fighting together, and it didn't really explain why they were fighting together. Because Superman died, so it's like, why are you guys even hanging out if Superman's not even alive? How can Bruce Wayne like get all these people together? It doesn't. Why? For what? You know, even though they do all end up coming together for another common interest, there is something that happens where they kind of all have to help each other out. So I will give them that. There is a reason they do end up hanging out with each other, but it's kind of like, why? Versus the Avengers, all these people are all together, and we've already seen the buildup of why they all know each other. But the trailer was immaculate. They talking in the background, the music. I've seen it 3 times already. It's great. So I'm really looking forward to the Avengers movie. It comes out next year, and they already have the Black Panther in it, but the Black Panther movie comes out in February. So it's just the buildup in this massive rubber band ball of remarkable Marvel movies that we're going to be watching until, I don't know, I'm 65 or whatnot, taking my grandkids to go watch these Marvel movies. Like, Grandpa, we don't want to take you to the movies. We don't want to. No, we're going to the movies. We're going. So start your car. I'm not driving because I'm 65 and I don't feel like it now. So you got to take me to the movies because I want to see the kids movie. Even though you guys want to see Friday after 19, after next, after 6 or whatever, we're going to go see another Marvel movie. So I'm going to watch them forever. Spider-Man's in the trailer. It's a great movie. So I'm excited about that trailer. I'm also excited about the Black Panther trailer. I saw that last night when I saw Justice League. The Black Panther trailer looks really good. I'm excited about them throwing together that Black Panther movie. It looks like it's going to be solid. Cinematography looks really good. I like the cast. They got Michael B. Jordan in it. He's playing the villain, and they got Chadwick Boswick in it. He's playing Black Panther. They also have Michonne from Walking Dead in it, and she doesn't have dreadlocks. Surprise, surprise. It doesn't look like Michonne, but apparently it is Michonne. And it's gonna be a great movie. I'm looking forward to reviewing that. That's obviously 2 months from now. So coming up, I will be doing something other than that. So just to recap, if you guys go see Justice League and you don't like it, that's not my fault. If you see it and you do like it, that's great. Let me know why you liked it at GSMC_movies. And please go watch Punisher on Netflix, but I probably wouldn't watch it with your kids because it's bloody and it's horrific and it's remarkably good. Also, if you get a chance, go to YouTube and Google the official Avengers trailer. And I don't even know if that's the official one. There's got to be more to come. If that's the first trailer and the movie doesn't come out till like June, I don't even know what the next trailer is going to be like. Does that mean will the next trailer be a movie? Is that what it's going to be? The next trailer is going to be 2 hours and the movie's going to be like 9 hours? I'll watch it. I'll go to the movie theater and clock in. Y'all going to have to pay me to be there if I got to be there 9 hours, but I'll watch Avengers for 9 hours. So be it. Sign me up. Here's the thing. You guys can be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. This has been Ryan Holloway on the GSMC Movie Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. Talk to you soon. live long, prosper, and watch out for potholes.